Imagine waking up early in the morning and reaching for your phone like you always do. You unlock the screen and instantly notice dozens of banking notifications flooding your device. ATM withdrawals, online purchases, payment transfers, transactions from cities you have never visited. Your heart starts racing because something feels terribly wrong. You rush to grab your wallet. Your debit card is still there. You never lost it. Nobody stole it. You did not click on any suspicious website. At least, not that you remember. Yet somehow your bank account is being emptied in real time while you stare helplessly at the screen. This nightmare is becoming more common every single day. Modern scammers no longer need to physically steal your debit card to drain your money. Today's criminals use sophisticated digital scams designed to bypass traditional banking security and trick ordinary people into giving away access to their accounts without realizing it. And the most dangerous part? Many victims believe their bank will automatically protect them. Unfortunately, banks cannot stop every attack. Criminals are adapting faster than many security systems can respond. They target mobile phones, payment apps, QR codes, fake customer service calls, and even two-factor authentication systems that people trust for protection. Most people think scams only happen to careless individuals. They imagine obvious fake emails filled with spelling mistakes or suspicious strangers asking for passwords online. But modern financial scams are far more advanced than that. Fake banking alerts now look completely real. Fraudulent customer support calls sound professional and convincing. Scam websites are carefully designed to imitate legitimate banking portals almost perfectly. Some victims lose thousands of dollars within minutes. Others lose their life savings. And many people do not realize they were targeted until it is already too late to stop the damage. Criminals understand human psychology extremely well. They know people panic when they hear words like fraud alert, suspicious activity, locked account, or unauthorized payment. The moment fear enters the situation, victims become more likely to act quickly without verifying information first. Debit card users are especially vulnerable because debit fraud directly impacts the money sitting inside personal bank accounts. Unlike some credit card fraud cases, victims may suddenly lose access to the funds they rely on for rent, bills, groceries, and daily expenses. In this video, we are going to expose the newest debit card scams spreading right now, explain how scammers manipulate trust and urgency, and most importantly, show you how to recognize the warning signs before your financial information falls into the wrong hands. Because by the time many victims understand what happened, their phone numbers have already been hijacked, their banking apps compromised, and their accounts drained completely. And what makes these scams truly terrifying is that many of them can happen without criminals ever touching your physical debit card at all. To understand why these new debit card scams are so dangerous, you first need to understand how modern scammers actually operate. Most people imagine criminals sitting behind computers trying random passwords all day. But today's financial fraud works very differently. Modern scammers focus less on hacking devices and more on manipulating people. One of the fastest growing scams begins with something simple. Your phone suddenly loses signal. No calls, no text messages, no mobile data. Most people assume it is a temporary network problem. In reality, criminals may have already hijacked your phone number through a SIM swap attack. Using personal information collected from data breaches or fake websites, scammers contact your mobile carrier and convince them to transfer your number onto a new SIM card they control. Once that happens, every security code sent by your bank goes directly to the criminals instead of you. Within minutes, they can reset banking passwords, bypass verification systems, and access financial accounts while victims sit confused wondering why their phones stopped working. But scammers are not stopping there. Another common scam starts with a fake fraud alert. Imagine receiving a text message or phone call warning you about suspicious activity on your debit card. The caller ID may even display your bank's name. The person on the phone sounds calm, professional, and helpful. They explain that your account is under attack and they need to help secure your funds immediately. Victims panic. The scammer then instructs them to transfer money into a supposedly safe account while the investigation takes place. Everything sounds official. Everything feels urgent. But the safe account actually belongs to the criminals. The moment victims approve the transfer, their money disappears. QR code scams are also spreading rapidly. Criminals place fake QR stickers on parking meters, payment terminals, restaurant tables, and public machines. Victims scan the code believing they are making legitimate payments. Instead, they are redirected to fraudulent websites designed to steal debit card numbers, passwords, and banking information. The frightening part is how normal these situations appear. Nothing feels obviously suspicious in the moment. Modern scams are carefully designed to imitate trusted businesses, banks, and payment systems. Criminals know that if something looks professional enough, most people will lower their guard. There are warning signs, but many victims overlook them because scammers create urgency and fear. Unexpected fraud alerts, sudden pressure to act quickly, requests for verification codes or payment transfers, unknown QR codes, strange login notifications, calls demanding immediate action before an account is supposedly locked. These scams succeed because criminals understand one important fact. When people panic, they stop thinking clearly. And unfortunately, by the time many victims realize something was fake, their debit cards, banking apps, and personal financial information may already be completely compromised. The good news is that while these scams are becoming more advanced, there are still powerful ways to protect yourself. Most financial fraud succeeds because criminals rely on confusion, distraction, and panic. The moment you slow down and become more cautious, you become much harder to target. One of the most important steps is enabling transaction alerts through your banking app. These notifications can immediately warn you whenever your debit card is used. If unauthorized activity appears, you can react quickly before scammers continue draining your account. Many victims lose large amounts of money simply because they discover the fraud too late. Protecting your phone number is equally critical. Since many banks still use text message verification codes, scammers frequently target mobile carriers through SIM swap attacks. Contact your carrier and ask about adding a SIM lock, port freeze, or account PIN. These extra protections can make it much more difficult for criminals to hijack your number. You should also avoid reusing passwords across multiple accounts. Many scammers gain access to banking information using passwords leaked from unrelated data breaches. A strong, unique password for every financial account significantly improves your security. Password managers can also help create and store secure login credentials safely. Another important habit is learning how to recognize phishing attempts. Never trust unexpected links sent through text messages, emails, or social media, even if they appear to come from your bank. Instead of clicking links directly, open your banking app manually or type the official website address yourself. This simple habit alone can prevent many scams. Be extremely cautious with QR code payments. Public QR codes placed on parking meters, restaurants, gas stations, or payment terminals can easily be replaced with fraudulent versions. If possible, use official apps downloaded directly from trusted app stores instead of scanning random codes in public places. Protecting your debit card physically still matters as well. Whenever using an ATM or payment terminal, inspect the machine carefully for loose card readers, unusual attachments, damaged keypads, or suspicious stickers. Always cover your PIN while typing, even if no camera is visible. Public Wi-Fi networks create additional risks. Avoid accessing banking apps or entering financial information while connected to public internet connections in airports, hotels, cafes, or shopping centers. If necessary, use mobile data or a trusted VPN connection instead. And perhaps most importantly, never let fear force you into immediate action. Scammers deliberately create urgency because panic makes people ignore warning signs. Real banks will never pressure you to move money into safe accounts, reveal security codes, or make rushed financial decisions over the phone. At the end of the day, cybersecurity is not about understanding complicated technology. It is about developing smart habits and staying aware of how criminals manipulate trust. A few extra seconds spent verifying information today could save you from financial devastation tomorrow. Because in today's world, protecting your debit card also means protecting your phone, your identity, and your entire financial life. As technology continues evolving, financial scams are evolving with it. Criminals are no longer relying only on stolen wallets or obvious fake emails. Today's scammers use psychological manipulation, advanced digital tools, and carefully designed fraud systems that target ordinary people during normal daily activities. That is what makes these scams so dangerous. Most victims are not reckless or careless individuals. They are everyday people checking bank notifications, answering phone calls, paying bills, or trying to protect their accounts from what appears to be suspicious activity. Scammers understand this perfectly. They know people react emotionally when money and personal security are involved. And unfortunately, fear is one of the strongest weapons criminals can use. The most important lesson from this video is simple. Never let urgency control your decisions. Whether it is a fraud alert, a suspicious text message, a phone call from someone claiming to be your bank, or a QR code requesting payment, always pause and verify before taking action. Real banks will not pressure you into rushing. Real financial institutions will never ask you to transfer money into a so-called safe account over the phone. They will never request your OTP codes, passwords, or PIN numbers through text messages or suspicious calls. The moment someone demands immediate action involving your money, your security codes, or your banking information, you should immediately become cautious. Awareness is your strongest defense. The more familiar you become with these scams, the easier it becomes to recognize warning signs before serious damage occurs. Criminals depend on confusion and secrecy. Every person who understands modern scam tactics becomes far more difficult to manipulate successfully. It is also important to understand that financial fraud can impact more than just your bank balance. Victims often experience stress, emotional exhaustion, identity theft problems, damaged credit, and months of recovery work trying to restore compromised accounts. In some cases, stolen information continues circulating online long after the original scam ends. That is why protecting your financial information should become part of your everyday routine. Monitor your accounts regularly. Keep your devices updated. Use strong passwords. Stay cautious with public Wi-Fi networks and unexpected payment requests. And most importantly, trust your instincts whenever something feels unusual. If you found this information valuable, consider sharing it with friends, parents, coworkers, or family members. Many people still do not realize how sophisticated modern banking scams have become. A single conversation could help someone avoid losing their savings, personal information, or financial identity. Because the truth is, scammers are constantly searching for their next victim. But informed people are much harder to fool. Stay alert. Stay informed. Protect your debit card, your phone, your accounts, and your identity. Because in today's digital world, financial security is no longer only about protecting money. It is about protecting every piece of personal information connected to your life. And sometimes, a few extra seconds of caution can save you from months or even years of financial damage.